Welcome to the One Tech Dungeons Relics of the Forge launch day stream. Surely nothing happened before this, including audio problems or anything, because that part wasn't recorded. The end.
If there's no evidence on YouTube, it did not happen.
It's true.
Well, there's certainly no evidence on YouTube of anything. So yes, welcome to everyone in Twitch. Welcome to everyone watching through the Backergrit website. Welcome to everyone later on watching on YouTube, recounting our beautiful stream setup. Look at that fancy cover. The art for this game was created by our fine artist, Mr. Crowbar. They are the best at hero art and also Baldur's Gate comics. A true amazing specialty. And at some point, they might even join us in one of these chats. Mystery. But yes, so Relics of the Forge, as you are probably well aware, if you're at the stream right now, is our brandy new expansion, a standalone expansion for One Deck Dungeon. So it has new heroes, it has new monsters, it has new traps, it has new bosses, and the fancy new feature of Relics. We wanted to do a little bit more than Forest, which just sort of added poison and kept things at about the same complexity level. This has more ways to control your dice and manipulate things and mitigate those ones that you love to roll. So in this stream, we're going to show off some of the new cards and talk about the new mechanics, answer any questions that the audience has. I'm going to awkwardly look at the right monitor because that's where the chat is. In fact, the chat is at two places in my screen set up. Very fancy. All right, so we are going to start off by talking through the new mechanics in Relics. And we have set up wonderful rules images. Someone want to pop up rules 1? Or I will do it.
Yep.
Yeah, just a second.
I did it. Too late.
I have a cat
All right.
in the way.
Cats. Oh, I have a cat. Oh no. All right. So the namesake of this expansion are in fact the Relic cards. Relic cards are little cards that are going to go next to your hero card during setup. And you're going to have the Relic for the whole game. You start with it, you end with it. It'll be useful during the boss fight. Every Relic has 2 skills on it. One is a skill you can use every turn, which is going to add fuel to the forge. We'll get to that in a second. The other skill is its ultimate, which is going to consume the results of having that fuel. So the first skill usually costs you something to gain some momentum, and the second skill is awesome. For example, this relic here, the Prism Talisman, the basic skill is you can store 2 or 3 dice from your pool on this card, which means they come out of your pool for that combat or peril encounter. And you'll get fuel based on the different number of colors and different number of values stored. So if you sacrifice a bunch of effort for this fight, you'll get some fuel into the forge. Also, stored dice on a relic can be used in future encounters. So you're sort of ebbing and flowing your dice strength between fights. If you know that you've run away from a big encounter on the floor, you can save those dice for the next turn. And then the cool ultimate ability is swap 2 of your stats for gathering dice. And then you gain some +2 tokens based on your experience level. So what that means is if you come to a fight and your character has a bunch of yellow dice and you want to have a bunch of blue dice, you can switch your strength and magic stats for that fight. And that costs you a relic crystal, which is the currency of using your cool ultimate relic abilities. That lets you swing the balance in your favor. You can also use that on perils if you've got the wrong color. If you've got a strength hero and you need to deal with an agility peril. So this really turns on its head the entire strategy for your dungeon delve. And each of the relics has a different crazy power like this that is really neat, and it's not just like roll a bunch of dice. It's something you have to use cleverly, because that's the fun of One Deck Dungeon is cleverly outwitting your dice when they roll 1 and you're sad. So I see we got a couple questions. We're answering those. So Somebody asked, you can get new stuff in plastic, old stuff in plastic. So in the campaign, we've got options for new stuff, old stuff. You can get the Vault Box, which has everything, and you can get any or all of that, either basic standard cards or the deluxe plastic edition. The deluxe editions just have plastic cards, which are durable and waterproof.
Waterproof.
Yeah. We don't gate any content in the deluxe editions because we don't like that when we get games and half the game is missing. So all of our exclusives, so to speak, are cosmetic or durability stuff. And yeah, so how does this balance with number of dice with Fiends from Forest of Shadows? So playing with both Relics and Fiends is totally possible. Some of the Relics that consume dice are obviously going to be harder to play with Fiends because you're trying to throw dice over at those Fiends. But the Prism Talisman, for example, you're not losing the dice here. You're just storing them. So you can choose when it's time to throw those dice at Fiends. You'll be sort of setting up super turns or mini turns. They are plastic cards. Another question in chat: are they coating by plastic or are they actual plastic? They are, PVC 0.3 millimeter cards that are durable. In fact, I have a plastic Red 7 deck right here from the ancient print run of almost 7 years ago. You can see it's a little thicker than a normal deck. And the cards are cards, but they have sort of a plasticky feel. I'm gonna get that ASMR plastic sound from the deck. And they shuffle just like normal cards. Yeah, look good. They've got good color and everything. They're just a little bit thicker and a little more durable. Alright, so that's the basics of how relics work. Why don't we look at a couple of the other relics? If someone wants to pop up a non-Prism Talisman relic.
Yeah.
Show me a Moonblade?
Moonblade coming.
Moonblade coming onto the screen. So this is another relic. This is the Moonblade. If you played any of these at Gen Con, you will notice they have all changed because they were wildly imbalanced in different ways. The Moonblade was way too amazing, and I had to tone it down before it conquered everything. Over the next couple months, we're going to be doing a bunch of rebalancing, play testing, more balancing, more play testing, because that is what you do to make the game awesome. You play test it a ton. And every Friday at 2 o'clock Eastern, we're going to be doing a couple hours of streaming to show some of that playtesting, and people can come in and help out. Are we looking for playtesters? So one of the things we'll be doing with the Friday streams is releasing some mini print and plays of some of the stuff. So you can download, like we'll have a couple of the relics available to print out on your own. Because you can actually play with the relics and the forge with base dungeon. You don't need the new encounters for it, although you'll miss out on some of the new abilities that provide you fuel otherwise. But yeah, let's look at this Moonblade. So the Moonblade says, return 2 dice of the same value, X, gain X fuel, and then roll a black die. So, you know, I roll a pool of dice, I've got a bunch of low dice. I'm going to throw away 2 1s, get a fuel, and get a free black die roll. Maybe I get a 3 or a 4 or even a 6, and I'm happy. Or if you have one of those amazing rolls, you know, you've all had the turn where you just roll this amazing turn. You're like, oh, I've got like 5 6s, and I'm going to waste them. Now you could throw, this is the toned down version, yeah. You could throw 2 6s at the Moonblade and get 6 fuel, which is a ton of fuel. And roll a black die and still probably do well in the encounter. And obviously after you've got a bunch of skills and extra dice, your options grow. And then the ultimate ability of the Moonblade, which is if you spend a crystal, when you're gathering, you can either set 1 die to 6 or all dice of one color to 4 instead of rolling them. So this gives you a bunch of control. And obviously this is still in testing, so maybe it's still too good. Joe will be one of the main arbiters of how good is it, because Joe is our lead playtester for.
We've already had discussions about. I thought it was already too good, so
Listen.
we talked about this. We were talking more about it. It's in works. Yeah, we're figuring it out.
And then we have to balance against the fact that Joe is really good at dungeons. So.
And so is Chris. Yeah, so we have to think about how new players will approach this versus people who are very well experienced with dungeons. So.
Exactly. So yeah, sometimes it's too good, and we'll figure that out. If we're crushing everything, then we'll tone it down. But in general, I want all these abilities to feel cool, fun to play with, and you should feel that you're, and since it's called Wax and Wane, you're waxing and waning your strength between different battles. So yeah, let's move on to Rules 2 and talk about the Forge.
The Forge. Oh, got it.
Oh, strike one.
Heroes 10. Oh.
So this is the Forge card. The Forge card is right now a card that is the same size as your hero card, the turn reference. It is where you store your fuel. So fuel is stored on the Forge card as black dice. When you gain fuel, you'll put like a black 2 or black 3 on there, and you'll tick it up as you gain more fuel. You will gain fuel over multiple encounters, and when you have gotten to 12 or more at the end of an encounter, you will spend those 12 fuel and gain the Forge output. So in the first 2 expansions for Neck Dungeon, the base set and Forest of Shadows, when you reach experience level 2, you get a free black die in every encounter. And when you reach experience level 4, you get 2 free black dice in every encounter and every round of the boss fight. In Relics, that is removed. On the level card, you will see that spot in the bottom left corner is gone. It has been replaced by the Forge output. So the cost of having a Relic is that you lose that encounter bonus. That's part of why they're so amazing, because they're replacing that 1 free black die every single fight, and giving you the opportunity to use some power in some encounters and less power in others. So the Forge output for level 3 is 2 crystals, a heroic die, and a black 7 token. There are 3 new token types in Relics of the Forge. There are crit tokens, which is a little token with a 7 on it that is exactly what it says, a black 7. You can put it anywhere as if it was a black die showing the number 7. This will be important because there are boxes in the new expansion that are small boxes that have a 7 in them, and that's the only thing you can do to fill them. Boost tokens are little +2s, and they can be spent to increase your dice by 2. So if you've got a bunch of 1s and you have a bunch of boost tokens, you can fix that problem. And crystals, of course, are what you use to activate your ultimate ability. So yeah, so the Forge card here shows an explanation of how all of fuel works. So if you have 12 or more fuel at the end of an encounter, you will spend 12 of it. You will get your Forge output. And it also explains how storage works. So when you get rewards from the Forge or other things that tell you to store things, they will get stored on your Relic card. And you can use those during the heroic feat phase of any future encounter. Unlike heroic feats, though, your Relic can be used on the boss fight. So there's a special phase for using your Relic and rolling those dice. Yeah, so if you have a stored die, you will roll it before it goes back into your pool. Much like any of the heroes that store heroic dice do in the first 2 expansions. The reason for this is, if you could use the stored stuff at any time, it really adds too much of a complexity burden on the fight. And the whole reason for having heroic feats be a separate phase is that we wanted you to decide, do I want to use this extra oomph before the fight starts, rather than seeing what your role is and saying, aha, I need to use my heroic feat. It was one of the biggest design decisions I made way back with original One Deck Dungeon that made the original game work so well. Was that choice of having to decide before the fight starts whether to add your extra power or not. It's a fun decision. In chat, Yabari is going to drill his dice and make extra pips on them, which blatantly cheating.
Corner pips, baby. That's how you do it.
Corner pips. Oh my god. Get out of here. So other question in chat, can you use boost to increase a die past 6? Maybe. Initially, my intent was no, that you would consume a boost token and you would then tick up the die and the boost token would go away. But what we saw people physically doing with the tokens is they were stacking the boost token on top of the die and placing the die onto a card. And physically, that honestly makes a little more sense. So we might actually change the balance to accommodate that you place the boost token with the die so that you could place it as an 8 or even higher if you stacked many things on one die. Just stack of tokens.
Yeah, apparently that was the natural thing for people to do because
Yep.
having tokens means that you just want to have them, and rather than spending them, you just use them as tokens. So it makes sense from a usability perspective. So
It does, and that's honestly part of the value of playtesting with many, many random people at Gen Con. Because, we play the game ourselves, and we're experienced with the game. Everything is obvious in terms of UI and stuff. And then I get to Gen Con, and somebody's like, what is this square object? Is this a dice? Don't worry, nobody did that. But they have totally different perspectives, and yeah. So yes, this is the first One Deck Dungeon expansion where not all of the heroes are women. The Thrasher is non-binary, much like our artist. And we refer to the Thrasher with they, she pronouns, so occasionally we still use the singular she for most things, referring to heroes in the rulebook. It's just a cool thing we can do, and we decided it was something that was useful to add to this expansion. Let's show the cover again. So yeah, that is the set of 4 heroes. There is a 5th hero we would love to add as a stretch goal, which we haven't drawn yet, or actually we haven't even named the 5th hero yet. So when we do,
it could be anything.
Even a boat.
It potentially could be. So
3.5 out of 4. Yeah, no, we got you, Cho. It's good. Yeah, one of the things we try and do with stretch goals is I don't like when a campaign's like, all right, here are all these stretch goals. We're going to add 1 card every $1,000. By the way, we've already made all the cards. We're just hiding them from you temporarily. No. If we have a stretch goal, it is something we want to make, given funding. And if enough people go for it, we'll say, you know what? We're going to make this thing. And if we get a ton of funding, we'll make even more things. We'll make 2-deck dungeon. We will not make 2-deck dungeon. Stretch goal, 1 million backers, 2nd deck. But yeah, that's something that I feel kind of strongly about. It's something that's always bothered me about Kickstarter campaigns all the way back to the start. And we just try and do it a different way now, because it's a little more fun. Alright, so those are the core new stuff, the new mechanics with Relics. You've got Relics, they're cool. Let's show me, can you bring up the Ancient Tome?
Ancient Tome.
Ancient Tome. We're going to show another Relic.
33.
So there are going to be 8 Relics in the game. And we have designed 4 of them for playtesting right now, and other ones are in various steps of conceptual. So the Ancient Tome is a weird relic. You spend time to study, and you gain fuel based on the number of doors that are in the dungeon. So if you use it on your first encounter and explore, you're going to gain 4 fuel. it sort of incentivizes you to encounter, explore. What's weird about it is that the second part of the ultimate ability of Ancient Tome is to gain the top card of the deck as experience. And if you are level 4, instead you'll get, a 7 and a boost token. By the way, this has already been eroded because it's too good. But this was the conceptual version. You are spending time to gain extra experience and level up faster. So this will be toned down slightly, but that concept is still there. That sort of changes the whole calculus of how you approach a dungeon, because you can get to level 4 reasonably early on the second floor, even late on the first floor if you really, really push it. But you've sort of sacrificed everything else to do that. Is that worth it? That's a question you have. I see slots for dice in this, but no ability that keeps dice. There are 6 slots for storage because, and if you pop up rules 4, please, Joe, each of the...
Crap. Spelling.
Oh, no, you popped up Ruel's.
Stream is ruined.
I know. I'm sorry.
The Forge output, those tokens, you're going to get 2 crystals, a heroic die, and a 7. That's what goes in the slots for your relic. Those crystals actually use up one of the slots each, along with the heroic die and the 7 token. So you need to use them before the next time the Forge produces, or you'll go over your limit and you'll lose the extra stuff. All right, pop us back to the relic card. Thanks again, also everybody, for following and or subscribing or just being here. This channel during campaigns is used for cool gameplay stuff. We'd like to do more game dev stuff in the future on the Osmani Games Switch channel. Also, I just play video games on here a lot because video games are cool. So it is entirely likely we will see some amount of random video game playing during this week and the next week's coming up. All right.
More Dungeons and Degenerates Gamblers?
Yeah, Dungeons and Degenerate Gamblers, which is the blackjack version of Balatro, essentially. A title so offensive, Twitch won't even let you put it in your stream title. Because degenerate is a bad word by their standards. Oops. Token designs. Yeah, we have gone back and forth on wood and plastic. The very first couple printings of One Deck Dungeon had wooden hearts, and those were cool. Like, I love them. I still have a couple sets of them here somewhere. Unfortunately, we lost our supplier for those a very long time ago, and we had a hard time finding any wood suppliers that would do it. So we found some plastic hearts we didn't like a ton that were in 1 or 2 print runs, and then the plastic hearts we have now, which are little faceted gems, we like a lot.
Yeah, the translucent ones,
Yeah.
and those
They're
we've had a much
pretty.
easier time sourcing, and they sit really nicely on the cards and slide around easily. Like we think that they work really well for the game, so we would stick with that. And then, I mean, my hope is to take the opportunities that we can, if it's cost feasible, to upgrade materials for tokens, as long as it's not like this costs 5 times as much.
Yeah, I need to get some water over here back.
As much as we can make this game spill proof and stain proof, and prevent cardboard or chipboard from getting ruined for people who want that option, that's what we want to try to do.
And the plastic tokens are pretty good for that. So the plastic everything, right? So
yeah.
Ivy is in the other room. We cannot switch the camera to Ivy because she is way over there. Oops.
How rude for her to not be in a designated camera spot.
Just have a still of Ivy ready as a temporary cat cam. Yeah.
Or just like a 5-second loop.
Yeah.
It's like when you're looping a security camera pulling off a heist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on, something happened. I got a big notification. I wanted to make sure it was fine. Oh, I see.
If it was Discord, it's fine.
No, well, yes, there was that, but I saw that. What is the point of Twitch indeed if there's no pet camera?
Oh, there it is. Okay, I see.
Yeah, sleeves are good if you want to use them. Plastic cards are good too. All right, so that's the relics. Let's look at some of the cool new heroes and encounters. Give me heroes 1. It's heroes plural.
Yep.
This is the Thrasher. The Thrasher is also probably overpowered right now. So their ability is that their heroic feat is to roll 2 black dice. That sounds great. For every 6, gain a 7 token. So they sort of crit with the whip. For every 2, spend the time. For every 1, suffer a damage. So you can roll a bunch of black dice, but every time you roll a 1, you're going to get bopped with the whip on your own head because you're swinging it around too much. That's your own fault. You shouldn't have switched it so much. And then their patience ability is to spend the time to reroll exactly 3 dice of different colors. That is one of several abilities in this expansion that say to reroll an exact quantity of dice, which I've found to be an interesting thing because you can't always use it, and sometimes, you know, maybe all of your pink dice are good, so having to reroll exactly 3 dice of different colors feels slightly bad because you have to sacrifice a good die to save 2 of your bad dice. And any place I can in the new expansion, I've tried to make decisions interesting. We want you to be having good fun rolling dice and a little bit of good thinky fun figuring out how to use your abilities to improve your rolls or mitigate dice luck. Because we know this is a game with a lot of luck in it. It's a lot of dice. So we don't want your game to be over when you roll ones. We want your thinking space to expand when you roll a bunch of ones. Give me heroes 3 then. We'll just go through the 4 heroes one by one.
Yep.
This will give us all the 1-player versions.
Beat ya.
Oh!
Not according to my screen.
Oh no. So this is the Flamberge. And she is a cool green knight with this... this was... Rob, you want to talk about the art here? Because this was one of the more fun processes.
Yeah, so we kind of wanted a almost not holy knight, some sort of like sacred flame blade, like almost like a hex blade. So there's a bit of magic to it, and we really wanted to reflect that this was like a magical flame and not just a regular old flaming sword. So we went with the green and gold palette, just to try to sort of shake up the red and purple colorway that we have going in a lot of other stuff, because we really want her to stand out as this sort of like, it's obviously she's definitely frontline fighter, but there's a significant, you know, you're gonna get that significant sort of like magic, almost hex blade element to her gameplay.
Yeah. I'm taking this moment to reply to all the social media overflow that have happened. Because when you launch a campaign, everyone's like, hello, I would like to ask questions.
So yeah, Cho, the Flamberge, in addition to it being, it works as a name for the essentially the class she plays, but also it's essentially a giant two-hander. And a traditional Flamberge, you know, was an actual weapon with a great sword, wavy, flame-like blade, and that was how it was forged. And then in the fantasy sense, we flaming. That's a, you know, a giant two-handed greatsword, or like a hand and a half sword at least. So yeah, we just wanted to give her a big green flaming sword that had some magic in it. Seemed like appropriate way to go and name her.
Yeah. So abilities-wise, Flamberge, and again, just to remind you all, these are playtest cards, and they are still fluctuating in power level a lot. So the Flamberge's heroic feat is to spend the time and ignore either your yellow dice or your blue dice this turn, and instead gain a crit token and a boost token. So you sacrifice all 3 yellow dice or all 3 blue dice, which is a big chunk, but maybe they're completely useless this fight because the encounter has only, strength boxes or only magic boxes. And importantly, this one is only usable on combat, so you can't just cheese perils like
Barrels.
yeah. It's fun. It's interesting. We're still working on how strong that is because the previous version had 2 crits, and that was way too good. But 1 crit is probably the correct amount. And then her normal skill is to exile a heroic die from the supply to prevent 2 damage and 2 time. So that is a massive savings in terms of damage and time. Because usually most of the deflection skills or the dodge skills are like prevent 1 heart. But the cost here is also significant. You're losing a heroic die for the rest of the game. So still balancing that out, but she's a fun one. She's a lot of interesting choices during the game, figuring out which dice colors you're going to use and whatnot. Shall we move on to 5?
Yes, Schmike, it is a fun word to say.
Flamberge. This is the Shade.
A Flamberge egg.
And the Shade was...
I hate you so much.
Well, that's I can't take credit for that. Joe gave me the prompt for that.
That was a good one. That was really good. Oh, I'm upset.
Maybe that should be one of the relics, is the Flamberge egg. I'm sorry, I'm gonna mute myself now.
Oh dear. So the Shade was our biggest naming discussions. We had a lot of cool names for this one, but Shade is what we wound up finalizing on. And her ability is Smokescreen, which lets you open up a closed door, so you can peek and see what's behind it to store a black die. So the Shade trades in information, or roll the dice that you've stored up from previous turns. So she operates more like one of the original dungeon heroes, where you're storing up heroic dice and then using them later on. And then her silencing aura is spend 2 time to ignore all time. So the most time she can spend as consequences is essentially 2, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You can sort of fight things that are harder than you would otherwise by focusing exclusively on the damage spaces, since you know there's only so much time you can lose. Art-wise, this was one of our favorite concepts because when we went through the sketching phase, Crowbar just gave us a bunch of heroes with just silly little titles that were all just pencil sketches. And this one was called Shh.
For obvious reasons.
Correct. Just like
Um,
so, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, and in terms of the art direction, we really wanted to just get this sense that the Shade, or the which was later named Shade, has the sort of theme of really like distorting her and twisting her surroundings to enhance abilities and like get through challenges and stuff. So that can expand in ways that make it, make her obscured and difficult, like to the silencing bill. She's sort of almost distorting the encounter to be.
Rob, you're cutting in and out a little bit.
Rob, yeah, I don't know if you're away from your mic or something, but you're losing sound on you.
I'm sitting right in front of it.
I don't know. We are losing some parts of your sentences.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Well, I don't know if you want me to repeat everything.
No, most of it came through.
No, yeah, it just a word here and there. So. Yeah.
Yeah.
Disconnect, reconnect.
Yeah.
Discord,
close out Discord and come back. Yeah.
Yep. 1 second.
Oh well. Do 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 do.
Hey, we hit 32,000.
Yay!
Yay!
Up to
Thank you.
437 backers.
Thank you for the support.
And I'm back.
Welcome back.
Hopefully that's better.
Yes, that's nice.
Well, I missed the offense at the pronunciation of Flamberge. I mean,
Oh, why do you do?
it's a Flamberger,
Don't
right?
point out stuff like that to Chris, because he'll take it and run.
Run in the opposite direction.
It's
Yeah.
Flamberge. Yes, I am sure we will have some mispronunciations of Flamberge by backers and by us and by everyone. That is the reality of stuff. You could cook a Flamburger on that sword. You sure could.
You could. You could
Oh,
get some
God.
nice grill marks.
Oh, please no.
Immediate stoops.
Now I really, really want a hamburger.
Listen, there's. I mean, it might
You know what?
be time
I know what I'm doing for lunch today.
I know I should. Yeah, I know I shouldn't have gotten on stream without lunch.
Shall we move on to Heroes 9? 7?
Yes.
7.
7.
7.
9 will just be the reference card. And our final hero here is the Smith. So the Smith was the first hero art we had done for Relics. And she is a cool centaur lady. Full of packs of interesting stuff. She is a tinkerer and sort of has this giant hammer which can be used both for smithing purposes and for smashing purposes. So her abilities are cool. She stores boost tokens instead of storing black tokens, or black dice rather. And you can either store dice there, store tokens there, or spend them for fuel, or just move the tokens to your pool. And her skill, Hammer Smite, lets you spend yellow dice to roll black die, and either add an extra boost token to storage, or just get one for right now. So she's a little more utilitarian, and if you want to pop up Heroes 8, we can look at the two-player version of her, which is similar. She lets you move boost tokens into your partner's pool and gain fuel by doing so. So, most of the heroes have a two-player version that does something cooperatively, and the Smith is no exception. Art-wise, this one was pretty simple. We wanted a cool horse lady, and Crowbar was like, yes.
Yeah, this one actually, Crowbar had done just a sort of fun sketch for themselves. That was kind of not the same character, but sort of very similar concept. And we had got to talking about it because Chris and I both really, really liked it when they posted it. And we were like, okay, but what if one of our heroes actually was this and like with a giant weapon of some kind? And then we settled on the hammer, and it was just like, okay, yes, this needs to happen.
All right. Something else I want to talk about real quick is the Trivia Challenge. So BackerKit has a new feature that they've been testing and sort of using for the past couple months, which is a Trivia Challenge, which for some campaigns, like Brandon Sanderson's book one, there was trivia questions about his enormous library of books and all the things you can trivia question about from worlds and things. And other campaigns have used other trivia things. What we're using this feature for is cool wordplay riddles. And we had one during the pre-campaign day, which was choose the option that is banana. And that was the correct answer.
Surprisingly, many people got it incorrect.
Not many.
But a
Too
few
many.
People
Too
were,
many.
People were just testing, and I am one of the people who chose not banana just to make sure.
Joe,
What?
we gave clear instructions.
You know what? It could have been a trap. So
The banana is never a trap.
You fool!
I'm just saying it could have very easily been a trap.
I guess it could have been a trap. That's fair. I would do that. But in fact, banana was correct. So during the campaign, every week, and we're still planning out the exact details of this. There's going to be a Relic riddle, which is going to be a wordplay riddle that is live in the poll system, and I am trying to find the directory where I'm putting this file. So I want to show the image. There we go. I found it.
I could swear we have a banana emote. We don't.
We don't right now.
Oh no.
Oh, who stole the banana?
So, who stole the
Dang.
banana from the banana jar? This is Relic Riddle number 1. Each of these items is concealing a monster, but which one is a mimic? We have the dramatically orange flagon, the harmless canopy, the midnight blue ceramic, or the treasure plant. There is a correct answer here. And obviously, if you figure out the answer, don't post it in chat or to the comments section of the riddle, because that would be less fun for everyone else trying to figure it out.
You must vote.
You must vote, and this will get revealed. This one will end at the beginning of the stream on Friday. So you choose your answer, and when you backed, you got to choose a trivia team. And each of the trivia teams, they are named after a potential relic. There's a link trivia challenge in the backer kit page. Above, like, there's a little table for story,
In the
pledge
table
levels,
contents and
add-ons,
stuff
communities.
area, yeah.
Oh, sorry, Faye. There's Twitch doesn't let us post links in here because they have security settings on. I'm assuming.
Well, the mods can do it.
Yes, you tried to post this link,
So
which will bring you to the trivia challenge. So the teams are named Azure Ring, Pendant of Purity, Cape of Chaos, Titan Glove, Safety Pin, Emerald Blade, True Shot Quiver, and the Cube of Jubilation. Each of those teams is named after a prospective relic, and the top team will have their relic added to the game as a relic. And there are stretch goals to extend that to 2 teams, 3 teams, 4 teams. So if you get your trivia questions right, your relic will be part of the game, which is cool. And that is what we decided to do with the trivia challenge, because we didn't want anybody to be like denied content because they didn't answer riddles right. This is just more fun. But yeah, so good luck with this week's riddle. These are all wordplay based. I'm not actually sure, Faye, how you know what team you're in. If you go to that page, it should probably tell you. Like I said, this is a new feature. We'll figure it out. All right, let's go on to give me Relics 3. We'll go to actual card images. It's the Molten Ooze, everybody's favorite adorable ooze. Oh, were you? Okay, so it should, at some point it will ask you to join a team. If you're having trouble, post a comment to the campaign and I'll try and help you with it.
yeah, so you need to be you first need to be a backer to answer the trivia question.
Right.
But you know, even if you're just backing for $1, you have access to that. So that just unlocks your access. You pick your answer, and then it asks you what team you want to be on, and you select. And then you will be on that team from that point forward when you answer subsequent trivia questions to contribute to the score. I hope the silence doesn't indicate confusion.
Nope, I am
No.
posting into a thing.
This all tracks.
I was like,
typing.
oh no, I've said the wrong thing.
I didn't even hear what you said. I was busy typing.
Oh, okay.
I heard it. It all made sense to me. So
Yeah, it sounded plausible, so.
Sounds good.
yeah, plausible is the
Okay.
important part.
Speak with confidence. Surely it's true. Anyway.
That's how that works.
So yes, Relic Riddle number 1 is indeed live on the backer kit page, and you can answer it now. 5 people already have, 6 people already have, and some quantity of them are correct, and others are not correct.
Currently, Azure Ring is tied for first place.
With everyone else.
With everyone else, yeah.
Well, no, I mean,
No,
it goes down.
Cube
Oh, I
of,
guess-
Cube
no,
of
you're right.
Jubilation is
Or Cube of
just
Jubilation.
absolutely geesing it down there.
Oh, man.
Oh no, poor Cube. Well, over the next couple months, there will be more answers that get in there. All right, so let's look at this molten ooze. Look at this cute little blobby.
Look at this cute guy, my son, my little son.
So
I love him so much.
I'm just going to point out that in the original art, the little smiley was not there, and then one of us
I
drew it in,
Demanded it.
and it had to stay.
Demanded the smiley.
It's very cute.
So the molten ooze is the cousin of the glooping ooze. It's a hot little gloop, and it's going to eat up all your weapons, and it's going to do it so cheerily. And also, when it comes into play and you start the encounter, it's going to discard all the other doors that are in play. So if it's the first thing you encounter, you might want to run away so you don't lose those 3 doors. Other than that, it's a low level encounter, but it's cute, and it's cool.
You don't have a picture of the pin, do you?
Not up.
Okay.
That is hard.
You have the pin on your neck, don't you?
Oh yeah, it's on your lanyard.
Fuzzy on Z. Welcome to the stream. For those of you joining late, this is our launch day stream for Relics of the Forge. We're going to be going for a little bit longer. We're almost ready to wrap up. Why don't you give me Relics 5? The Iron Snail. This is my favorite new encounter because it's so stupid.
This one is very
actually
cool.
so smart.
It's really. I love this
Yeah.
one. It's so clever.
Look at those 0 boxes. They're so easy to fill. You can
What
fill
do you
0
mean
boxes.
0?
But the ability shell says spend the time if a box's value is exceeded by 2 or more. So you want to put your 1s there all day? Great. Anything else, you spend the time to put it there. So you're trying to poke this snail with like stabby things and not working. So
Gonna be here a while.
yeah, you can also see, and this was on the hero cards as well, the new template has this sort of molten ooze going around all the bricks and stuff to give it that fiery feel.
Well, not the molten ooze, but lava.
No, but yeah, lava. Hybrid decks again will be half of one deck plus half of another. So you just take one of each encounter. There'll be little symbols. We're also revamping the hybrid deck and multiplayer rules for 3 players or more with this expansion. So we'll be talking about that more in September down the line. The fire symbol, if you don't fill in that box, you lose fuel from the forge. So fuel can be a consequence, which is, bad because you want fuel. And yeah. Give me another encounter. You can choose any one you want. Try and give me a peril, actually.
Whoa.
Hold on, look at the list.
There's a whole list.
Looking at the list, looking at 12.
12? This is the
this is one
hook
of my
shot.
favorites.
It's definitely not the hook shot. Is Alu still here?
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Gets me every time.
Forehead slapper that was for me when he told me that.
This is my favorite dumb title of the whole set.
I was so upset when he told me. I was like, this
yeah.
is nonsense.
So we've also got new perils. This one is careful timing. You can try and dodge around them, or you can just sort of hack them with your sword. Yeah, so we've got 22 encounters here, 2 cards each in the deck, and that'll give you all of the cool variety that you were expecting from your dungeon. And like we were saying, if you combine dungeons, because now if you buy the whole vault and you have all 3 sets, you can play with up to 6 players, which is gonna be a cool time, and you're gonna roll a lot of dice. At least avoiding. I should have made avoiding them hovering, but I didn't. Good idea.
We can still change it, turns
I
out.
know. We could. All right. And then my favorite title, the Rhino Blade. My favorite monster title, because literally, it's a rhino made out of blades.
Could you explain the name?
Yeah,
Actually,
well, you
more?
see,
It's a little confusing.
It's not on the nose enough.
boom. Yeah, so, we got lots of variety here. This one has the Rainbow Potion, which has the new keyword Transmute. Transmute means take a die, change it into a die of the same value of a different color. So, it is a much cleaner way of saying that thing in less words.
I am obviously very, very partial to the Pyro Cat
Yeah.
because cat.
Pyro Cat, cool. All right. So, that is our launch day preview of One Nick Dungeon Relics of the Forge. And we're going to be doing, like I said, dev streams every Friday at 2 o'clock Eastern. This Friday, we're going to be playing through with the cards that I hoped to have today, but will be showing up on Thursday. A game or two. And you'll be able to see it here on the Twitch channel. It will also be live in BackerKit, like it is now. It's just on top of the page, which is cool. Yeah. So, we're up to 34,460 backers. Thanks everyone that's hopped in already, and we hope to see more of you in the campaign as things go. And good luck with the first Relic riddle. We still only have a few votes in there, but yeah. So it is 1:30 Eastern right now. So it would be half an hour from now would be the stream on Friday. Yeah. So any other final words from the rest of the team on this stream?
We're excited. We hope you are too.
Yeah, we're just really excited to show everybody. We think it looks cool. It's going to be fun to play and a cool, interesting wrinkle and sort of mini evolution on the dungeon everybody knows and loves. And it's a good time to jump in if you're new to Dungeon because you can still sort of play it the way that it's always been played, but you can also add on the little layers of additional gameplay options and difficulty adds if you like. So this is really the most versatile and customizable that we've ever made dungeon, and I think the most accessible to people. So yeah, we're just stoked for more people to see it and get into it.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us for the stream. We will see you all in the next stream. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.